A very good evening to dear learners. This is Kavita Chauhan once again in front of you with another poem from midterm syllabus, that is Amanda, written by Robin Klein. A wonderful poem talking about the instructions which are given to the youngsters by their parents, by their elders, and what are their reactions towards it. So here we have a girl whose name is Amanda. She's getting instructions again and again from her parents, and let us see what is her reaction. So I'm going to begin the poem. It is written by Robin Klein, who was born in South Wales, and she was she was a good and established writer. She had her first story published at the age of 16, and in 1981 she was awarded a literature board grant for writing, and since then she has more than 20 books published till date. So let us begin the poem. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. Now, in these lines, the speaker is asking Amanda not to bite the nails. See, now the speaker may be her parents, her elders, not to bend the shoulders, to stop sitting in a lazy way, and to sit up straight. And the sentences which are kept in bracket, they are the instructions. So they are the we can say response given by the Amanda to the instruction she received, and she said, "There is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully." The above lines are spoken by Amanda, and she says that there is a calm sea whose only inhabitant is me. She says that she is a mermaid, a creature with a woman's head and body and a tail of a fish instead of legs, who moves freely and happily in the sea water. Means Amanda is saying that outside the world, see, there are two types of word, one that the outer world and one the inner world, and Amanda is getting instruction in the outer world, do this, do that, so many things, but inside the world is very calm, where she is the only inhabitant and she has no instructions, she has no restrictions, and she is very much happy in that inner world. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. In the above lines, the speaker is asking Amanda if she has done her homework and cleaned her room. The speaker had also asked Amanda to clean her shoes. Now Amanda is saying, "I'm an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet." These lines are spoken by Amanda, and she says that she is an orphan who roams in the street freely, making different patterns on the soft dust with her bare feet. This experience of roaming free and doing things as she likes is golden and sweet for her. See, everybody loves her freedom. Everybody loves to live freely without any bondage. But here I would like to discuss with children that the instructions which are being given to you, they are not spoiling your freedom. They are for your benefit. Don't take them as that your freedom has been snatched. No, these instructions are given just to make you people an ideal citizen, and to develop good habits so that you could live a happy and cheerful life ahead. So the Amanda is saying that she is very much happy in her inner world. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I am speaking to you, Amanda? In the above line, the speaker instructs Amanda not to eat chocolates. The speaker makes a remind of the acne on her face. Again, the speaker asks Amanda to look at him when he is speaking to her. Now, Amanda is saying, "I am Rapunzel. I have not a care Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. I'll, I'll certainly never let down my bride here. These lines are again spoken by Amanda. Here she says that she is Rapunzel, but she doesn't want everything that what Rapunzel has. She only loves the life of Rapunzel in the tower, which is carefree, peaceful, and unique. She says that she will never let her bright hair down as she wants to stay in the tower forever. Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You are always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I am nagged at you, Amanda. In these lines, the speaker is asking Amanda to stop looking angry at once. He says that Amanda is so moody and sulky that anyone would think that the speaker had scolded her. So I would say when a child starts growing, so many changes are there. Change in the mood, change in behavior and others. So parents and children, they need to understand the feelings and emotions of each other, and we should counsel the students in such a manner that they would understand the reality of life also, without taking the instructions as a we can say hurdle in their life. They need to understand that instruction which are being given to them, therefore their betterment. And on other side, children, parents also need to understand the child is under stress and strain, and it's not a one side process. Both parents and children need to understand each other. So and now I will talk about the poetic devices used in this poem. The first one is metaphor. The poetic device used when as we know, metaphor is a indirect comparison between two things. So here in this poem, in this device is used in second, fourth, and sixth stanzas, as Amanda compares herself first with the mermaid, then with an orphan in the street, and finally with Rapunzel. And allusion is also there in this poem. This is a mythological allusion, and this allusion is mermaid, and we have never seen any figure like this, so it is imaginary one. And next one is alliteration also. This poetry device is used in the following lines of the poem: stop that solche and sit up straight. The sound S is repeated. Life is a tower is tranquil and clear. The sound T is repeated. So these three poetic devices, metaphor, allusion, and alliteration is there. So I think we have discussed the poem, and now you need to understand that childhood is a time when we indulge in our fantasies and we do whatever we like to do, but as we grow up, we come across the harsh reality of the life. So I would say one should be practical instead of living in imaginary world, in colorful world. As soon as you get the reality of the life, you will prepare yourself for the coming life. So it's really a wonderful poem, giving us a wonderful lesson that one should have a practical and we should have a broad thinking, and we need to understand each other's feelings and emotions. So with this, thank you so much.